Hi, welcome back to a little bit of Calm and Crazy. I'm so glad that you are here today. My name is Jennifer and I can't wait to share these wreaths with you. I absolutely love decorating in an Americana theme, so patriotic and ready for Memorial Day heading into 4th of July. I hope that you love these as much as I do. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll take a moment and introduce yourself in the comments below. If you love budget decor, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my future videos. If you don't know it, you can find me on Instagram. It is a little bit of Calm and Crazy over there, just like it is here. And let's just go ahead and get right on into it. For the first wreath, I'm using all of my burlap from burlapfabric.com. They were so sweet and kind and willing to send it over when I reached out to them for me to use it and share it with you. In the description box where I leave the supply list, I will also have direct links for all of the burlap so that you're able to go and check it out for yourself. And then for the second wreath, I'm using the burlap that you can get from the Dollar Tree, as well as some Dollar Tree rope in order to create this wreath. And let's go ahead and start making some wreaths. So to start off with, you will need a wreath form. This one came from the Dollar Tree. It's the 14-inch, and of course some burlap. This is a 6-inch burlap. Now you're going to take your burlap and you're going to take it around the outer two rings, and I have a piece of wire here that I'm taking through, and I'm just going to weave it through and secure it. It doesn't have to be super secure right here. It's just kind of holding it so it doesn't fall off as I'm working with it. And then in the end, I'm actually going to use that same wire to secure the two ends together. So once you have that done, then you're going to pinch your ends together and you're going to then start scrunching, is the best way I know how to put it. So fold your ribbon over the two wire rings until your ends match up, and then you are going to scrunch them, holding them in the opposite hand so that you don't lose that scrunching as you go. Now you are able to move that hand down as you are doing this. Now when you get to that little divider, you're going to see that you kind of have to pretend that it's not there, and you just kind of keep that technique going, and you just keep moving along and moving your hands around the ring, and you continue this exact same process all the way around. At the end, I do find that it's easier to cut it off of the roll because the roll is so large, and then to finish it out. And then as you can see here, I am going to go ahead and remove the wire and then weave it through the two pieces as I kind of overlap them so that you don't really notice where one end begins and one end starts. And then there you have that first layer. I will have a complete supply list for you below and links to all the burlap that I am using from burlapfabric.com as well, so you know specifically what it is that I am using. So the next two burlaps I'm using are 4-inch burlaps. So the red Chevron is a wired burlap. I'm actually going to cut the wire out and give it a raw edge so it has the mobility of the blue burlap and as well as the natural burlap that I just used. Just like you did with the first ribbon, you're going to take it around the wire. This time you're going around the middle wire only, and you're going to take it up and you're going to match up your ribbon ends again, and then you're going to scrunch them again. But because you have that first ribbon in there, that first burlap in there, you're not going to have to worry about having anything there, a wire, to hold in the ribbon. That burlap really is keeping this secure. There will be a little bit of finagling because of that burlap as well, so you will have to have a little bit of patience as you're pushing the burlap through, but that really is it. And other than that is the exact same technique as you take it around. At the end, I did go ahead and take a piece of wire and I weaved it through the ends of the burlap and around the wreath form just to make sure that it was nice and secure. After that, I did go in with some scissors and I trimmed up those frayed edges that were just a little bit more frayed than I like. Then on the bottom ring, I repeated the exact same thing using the blue burlap, taking it all the way around. This time I chose not to use any wire to secure the end because it was really locked in there with the previous burlap, but of course you can always use some wire if you choose to. Now using some blue and white 2-inch burlap, I'm taking the burlap ribbon through the outer ring of the wreath form and just eyeballing the length that I want and then trimming it off. After that, I will take a piece of twine, wrap it around, and tie it into a knot, alternating between the blue and the white as I go around, doing one white and one blue in each section. So there's a total of 6 sections on the wreath form. So you will have a total of 6 blue and 6 white. Now, the blue burlap is really kind of a soft in texture and I really like it. And the white is a much stiffer texture. It almost feels like a cast, if you were like casting someone's like foot, like a broken arm kind of a cast. It has a very different texture to it. It still looks really pretty on here and I really like it, but it is a much stiffer texture than the other burlap. So I thought I would let you know that. So after I did get all of those on there, I did go ahead and fold them over and give them a little ducktail end just to give them a little bit more of a polished look. Once that was done, the base of the wreath is done, and now to move on to the star. I'm doing the exact same star for both of the wreaths as well as another project. And so here you will see that I'm using 3 stars to start off with. I'm just going to be removing the star from the God Bless America sign using pliers to get the chain off of the star. I took them outside and I sprayed them with some Rust-OLEUM Ultra Matte in white. It took a total of 3 coats in order to completely cover and coat them so that you wouldn't see the stars and stripes poking through. Once they were all dried, I went in with Waverly's Wax and Antique, and I just wanted to give them a little bit more of an aged look. Taking the antique wax around the edges, and then after I had it along the edges, I took it to the center of the star to help give it that aged look. Once I had it on to the center of the star, I went in with a paper towel and started just kind of blotting and wiping. I don't want to say wiping it off. It was more like rubbing it in to the white paint to give it a little bit more of that aged look. And I just went back and forth between the antiqued wax and then rubbing it in with my paper towel. I just continued going back and forth until I got the look that I wanted. It took me probably about 4 or 5 different times of going between the wax and the paper towel until I got that look. But once I was satisfied, then it was time to hang the star onto the wreath. So I took a piece of twine and I threaded it through the holes where the chain originally was holding it onto the sign. And then I took that twine and I laced it around the bottom ring of the wreath and tied a knot, and that is how I secured it onto the wreath. In order to hang the wreath, I did take another piece of twine and I doubled it and I looped it through the top ring and tied a knot, and that is how I'm hanging the wreath onto my door. I think that this wreath turned out beautiful. I really love this burlap from burlapfabric.com. I hope that you love this wreath too. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below, and let me go ahead and show you how I created the second wreath. For this wreath, you will need another 14-inch wire wreath form. You will also need the wired burlap ribbon, about 4 rolls of this, as well as the red chevron ribbon. If you cannot find this, I do have a red polka dot ribbon that I think would be equally as beautiful. You will start by cutting 24 7-inch strips of the burlap, and you will take these and wrap them around the 2 outer rings. In order to secure them onto the 2 outer rings, you will use just a tiny bit of hot glue to do that. You will place 4 of these per section. So you have a total of 6 sections and you will be doing 4 per section. So you're going to be slightly overlapping them just a little bit in order to make sure that you can secure 4 into every section. Now I find it is best to use a lower temp hot glue so that you don't burn your hands, because the glue does kind of seep through the burlap and you are wanting to squish your burlap together. You could also use a fabric glue for this instead. You would just need to make sure that you do give it a good wait time to let it dry. Go all the way around the outer 2 rings with this exact same thing, taking them around and using your hot glue, or if you choose to use your fabric glue, and securing your ribbon. Now you're going to take the ribbon and you're going to cut it into 6-inch strips. Again, you're going to need 24 of them, and you're going to take it onto that 3rd ring, and you're going to do 4 in each section, so another 24 total because you have 6 sections and you will do 4 in each section. I hope that is making sense, using hot glue to secure those. This is a little bit tinier of a section, so you will have a little bit more of an overlap in this section than you did in that first part. Again, you're only going over the 1 ring this time and not 2. You will continue just taking it all the way around this 3rd ring this exact same way. For the inside ring, we are going in with some rope in the hot glue. So place down your hot glue onto that inside ring and just take your rope all the way around and just place a little bit of hot glue and then continue to place your rope as you go. Once you get back to the place where you started, just go ahead and trim your rope off. Then you are going to take your rope and also cover up the metal dividing sections. And so place your rope starting where your rope is, place some hot glue down, place your rope on, take the hot glue down the middle to cover up with the rope, so take your rope over it, and then take your rope over and under the wreath and add some extra hot glue to make sure it is nice and secure. You want a lot of hot glue on that back side. That'll really kind of lock and load it in so it's not going anywhere. And you're going to do this on all 6 of those sections, all the way around the wreath. Now you need 12 5-inch of the chevron ribbon. You're taking the chevron ribbon over the rope section, 2 per section of the 6 sections. I hope that's making sense. But you're also using it to kind of cover up that rope. As you see here, I'm going where I have that kind of where that rope intersects to kind of hide that rough edge so that you don't really notice it. So I'm camouflaging it. So I hide that rough edge with one of the chevron pieces, and then the second chevron ribbon is going in the center of the section. And I keep doing that. So this one again will go onto the left of that rope, kind of hiding it or camouflaging it, and I use my hot glue in order to then cover that up. And then the next one will go into the center of that section, and you repeat that all the way around until you have all of your ribbons in place. This is optional, but I decided to go ahead and give my ends like that ducktail. But because it's stiffer, I can't really just fold them in half and snip them like I normally like to do. So I'm actually just cutting straight up the center so I know kind of my meeting point. And then I'm taking it from the bottom corner up to where I snipped it in the center, as you can see here. So I'm then going in to create kind of like that little triangle. And then that is creating my ducktail. It's not quick. It would actually be a lot faster if you knew that you wanted to do this, to actually do it before you put them onto the wreath, and that's what I would suggest. But this was a last minute thought. I decided to do it after, so this is what I am doing. Now it's time to add the star, and so all I did was thread the twine through like I did on the previous wreath, and now I'm taking around one of the little roped metal sections, wrapping it around, tying a knot. It is that easy, and then there you have just a beautiful wreath with all the products coming from the Dollar Tree. I love that this is so simple and easy, and I hope that you like the different style that I gave you instead of your traditional burlap wreath. So let me know what you think of this in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed both of these today, but as always, I love to know which one is your favorite, so let me know that down in the comments below. I would love it if you would give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!